Hi, Patrick here. I'm here to talk about the oft asked request, where do we start? If you're a beginner, then I'll take you through where I believe would be a good spot to begin with. But for me, I'm a pantser. So I pants. I fly by the seat of my pants. And if I see something I like, I just go straight there, boots and all. And you can do that if you're a pantser like me. But if you're more regimented, more structured, then it's probably better to have some kind of plan and start from the beginning. Now, there's many ways to do that. You can learn anatomy first, and that's not a bad idea. What I like to think about when it comes to anatomy is to do it in between drawings. When you get stuck on something, just go, oh, that's a muscle I don't understand. And I'll go and have a look at one of Patrick's anatomy movies. Could be on the legs, could be on the arms, could be on the hands. Now, I'm going to take you onto my web store and have a look at other ways that you can access my work. I've made lots of wonderful collaborations over the years, and two of them most recently are Proco and New Masters Academy. I'm very proud to be associated with them. And in the past, CGMA was a great place for me to begin, and I do appreciate them giving me the start and teaching. So that was wonderful. So here we are today. You're in my studio, and I'm going to take you into my web store and have a look and see what we can work on. Where do we start? Let's go have a look. Okay, so here's my web store, established 2010. So proud of that. And let's scroll down, as it says here, scroll down for downloadable books and movies. This was originally a CGMA production, and they called me in to teach a beginner's class. And it was a wonderful experience. I really liked the people there. Time had come to take back the ownership of this and go put it together in one package and make it the AOS prequel because I teach the AOS Anatomy of Style online course. And this is a great primer for it. So I put it all together, and it's a lot of hours, 11 hours, 30 minutes. Now, these were originally, in their time, the best quality you could get. It's HD, and the sound was great, but today I have 4K and much better sound. So I packaged these together at a lower price for beginners to come in and check it out. So it's a good primer for Anatomy of Style 2, the online course that I teach. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that I'm very proud of. See little robotic ideas there for this course. So the prequel preview is there and a very low price. So 11 hours, 30 minutes, a massive amount of work. And you can see the affirmations that I get from my students. I always appreciate the students. They teach me as I teach them how to be a better teacher and how to be a better artist myself. So the Anatomy of Style online workshop, I do it probably 2 times a year, and it's a wonderful thing for me to get in and draw with the students again. So have a look in the link and it'll take you to that place. There it is there, where you can register. All right, and you can always go back to the top of the web store again and scroll back down. Everything is there that you need to navigate this store. Oil Painting Techniques, my first book that I published with Carrero Press, and it's wonderful. And there it is on its 10th anniversary edition. Incredible. Where it's been updated, the colors have been improved, all of that stuff, and rewritten as well, by the way, and with additional pages coming up to take advantage of 10 years on and what I've learned from this process and how I've improved this process. A classic book, go out of print so fast, but the PDF editions are always here on my store. So back to the main page, and you can see here the power of osmosis. Now, the power of osmosis links us back to the great Stan Prokopенko and the Proko collaboration that I have. So Stan wrote the foreword for this book, and it's the second in the Anatomy of Style books. The Anatomy of Style has been my best-selling book. And so along comes the Anatomy of Style 2, quite a few years later. And if we go to Proko, right now. And you can see here that I also have a collaboration with Proco. Now, at the moment, they are selling the Power of Osmosis, the epic female figure. The Power of Osmosis is only available at the moment on Proco, but I have How to Draw Fantasy Female Figures also on my store. We can buy it in one chunk here on Proco. I'm pretty sure you can buy it in parts. You can see all the affirmations from people that have taken my courses. Okay, so these are downloadable. Okay, this is collected study sheets. That's a very good one to have actually, because this is the kind of book that pulls out just the study sheets. It pulls out what is important. You just click on these pictures or any of those links to take you to it, and you'll get a little sample of what's going on. So the study sheets were basically all of the parts in between the chapters, the step-by-step chapters that just give us only the study sheets. And it's really terrific to take into the life draw class, for instance, or just have in your satchel for school. And back to that question again. So I think probably the best thing to do is start with the AOS prequel or the books. And if you're interested in painting, here's the second book on my oil painting masterclass. At the moment, again, out of print, but here on the store. There it is in its original version. So you can have the original version of oil painting techniques, so the 10th anniversary. They're both available there. Figures from Life was my favorite figure drawing book. And there's the original Anatomy of Style, forward by the wonderful Pat Wilshire. And very grateful for everyone that has forwarded my books. Julie Bell, Jeff Miracola, and Stan Procopinko, and also Donato Giancola for my art book. And here we have the wonderful Steve Houston, Drawing from Photos. Drawing from Photos is a really good book considering that not everyone can get the life draw classes. You can see all the preview in there. It's all about learning the anatomy and more so about how to move the anatomy to be gestural. So there's my art book. This is basically 10 years of paintings, and digital and fine art oils, if you like to think of it like that. And there's no difference for me. So what I teach is timeless, how to compose, how to understand color. You can take it into digital or pencil or paint, whatever you like. It never changes. So this is a timeless education. First novel, Sentinels, and I've got big news for that. Just stay tuned. There's big things coming from that. Now, if you're in the oil painting, this is probably your last stop because it's such a big thing. So there's always a preview there. I won't click on it. You can do that. And you can buy it at a bulk buy discount, 82 Australian dollars. It's a massive saving from the original step by step, one part at a time, which you can still get. This is how to draw the fantasy female figures. You can get the preview in there. Very, very proud of fantasy female figures. And you can see over 14 hours. I put a lot into these things. Now, quite recently, at the time of this recording, I've done the fantasy figure drawing wizardry course. I don't need to explain it. Here I am, and I will explain it in that video. Let's say you're intermediate or just beginner. This course really does fit both. Basically, I find that if you're intermediate or even advanced, a lot of stuff was not taken in during the time you were learning to do this stuff. And that missing stuff is what probably hinders your career today. And I certainly was aware of that when I realized probably 10 years into my career that it was still harder than it should have been. And so I would say, and that's why I hesitate, that fantasy figure wizardry course, you could start here. And then the Power of Osmosis drawing course, which is on the Proco site, is for in between the courses to keep your skills alive. You could also use the Osmosis course as a beginner. Now, I've put together a lot of the early stuff I did. So I've packaged together 24 hours of the movies that were originally on my site, how to draw basically everything. And to have that at your disposal as you're learning to draw from the other courses is just invaluable. It'll take you through everything. arms, legs, proportions, absolutely everything as you go through it. Never done a bigger deal than that. So it's a $150 saving. That's AUD, by the way. So Australian dollars are usually weaker than the American dollar. In fact, practically always. And here also is fundamentals. So what I'm doing is basically put in the older stuff into packages so that you can afford it and move forward onto the newer stuff. Now, for animators here, the turnaround character sheet, I teach drawing for animation at university. So I drew these live for my students at QUT University here in Brisbane, Australia. And that's what you're seeing here. Basically, I'm taking the class online. I also teach figure drawing for this class. As the Disney artist did, you can see how invaluable it is to learn the figure first. This may look complicated on the right, but that's actually a very simplified version of drawing the figure. And on the 24-hour bulk course, you'll see me draw that figure. Everything for me is simple to complex. You can see how simple it is over here. And if you follow me step by step, nothing's ever complex because you're starting with simple every single time. So I never leave anything out and never speed anything up unless it's the oil painting course. You know, you have to speed a little bit up there. I'll recap again. Fantasy figure drawing, wizardry course, anyone can pick that up. It's for beginners, it's aimed at beginners. I'm all about osmosis. Follow along with me and imbibe what I do, and you'll get it. You can see how beautiful and fluid the figures are. If I'm known for anything, it's fluid figures. And when you're working with anatomy and you're working with structure, things get tight very quickly and things get out of control and stiff. And before you know it, you're lost. So I teach how to keep that gestural beauty within structure. So I draw with gestural structure. I never really draw a shape that is a box. It always has a kind of curve to it. This course is pure magic. That's very nice from Fatty Toes there. That's beautiful. This is much older stuff for digital artists. Carnival 3000. What made my digital art stand out a little bit more was it was based on how to draw fluidly. There's digital stuff, but it matters not whether you're working digital or whether you're working traditionally. This stuff will teach you both. It'll teach you how to draw cartoons, it'll teach you how to draw anatomy, and all the time with a fluid gesture to it. Now I've got to deal with the prequel in that when you buy the prequel, you get a 20% off discount on the Anatomy of Style online course, which basically makes it free. This also stands alone. If you just want to have that, it's a terrific deal. You don't have to go in and buy the Anatomy of Style, but you will get that discount in there. There's my former CGMA students. Wonderful to see you guys again. Thanks for the endorsements. You can have a preview right there on your screen. Takes you right through the course. And you can see that the figures in this are much more mature. So this builds on top of this. If I went in there, you would see the original idea is much more blocky and much more robotic, and its shapes are simpler. See that? Simpler shapes. Looks complex, but it's not. Look how simple it begins. And then if we go back down here, you can see that we're taking what we've learned in that course and making it much more alive. The figures become alive. And you'll see in this course as well, I take a male figure and turn it into a female figure. And then I meet you at the end of every one of the 4 weeks, and we all get together and talk online. And it's just fantastic. I look forward to every one of them. So book reviews up here. And you can get a preview of all the books. I've got a little movie there. And here you can see my YouTube channel, PJ Artworks, Patrick J. Jones. A shout out that we have also on here, the art agents, where we get together with famous artists. And sometimes I'll just go in here and draw with Rachel and Melanie, who met me through CGMA. So they were my students, and now we're drawing together. They have their own school in Virginia, and it's great fun to hang out. So please subscribe to that channel. And I'll often do free videos and stuff here. There's a free sample here, for instance, of the 24-hour course. Who's that handsome man? Okay, and like I say, the art agents. Second Monday of every month is what we aim for. And we really interview the greatest there are out there. There's the great Stan Prokopenko there. So I went to Los Angeles to meet up with various folk, and on that trip went to Proco in San Diego, and then down to the new Masters Academy in Huntington Beach. All on the Amtrak too. Oh, it was great. It was wonderful. So I'll do art book reviews in here every once in a while, and you'll see. And there I am sitting in my little studio. You're always welcome to come in and leave comments and talk with us on the art agent. Oh yeah, and one last thing is with these online workshops, you get access to my Discord chat room and talk to previous students, and they help each other out and share your drawings. So it's an ongoing thing. This isn't just you go onto your course and then you disappear and never see anyone again. It's forever. The community's growing all the time. It's a really great place to be. Okay, so that comes part and parcel with both of those courses. Okay, I hope that was helpful and answered questions. You can always ask more questions on YouTube or Instagram. I haven't talked about Instagram. Oh, I should go on and have a look at Instagram. Let's just do that briefly, and I'll leave that with you. And please, follow me as well, whatever's happening. Whether it's the art agents, you'll get a ding ding when that comes on, or whether I've got a deal on right there. It's the place to go and see. Here I am just recently back from Ireland, so I travel quite a bit, and it's great to see people when I'm out and about. So please like and subscribe on my YouTube and also on Instagram so we can keep in touch. Okay, that's it for me now. Thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you in the Anatomy of Style online or on Instagram or anywhere that we congregate as artists. Okay, best of luck to you, and I'll see you next time. Good luck.